Miss Mansfield, what was your reaction to the news that your contract had been cancelled less than a quarter of the way through your tour?
Well, I was a bit surprised and quite concerned because the organization that actually has hired me, the Bailey organization, seems quite ecstatic and satisfied with me and my performances and has stated exactly that. And it's only the impresario who is playing some sort of games.
You talk about being a bit surprised. Does this suggest you've been expecting something of this kind?
No, I don't really like to use too strong words too strong. Do you know anything that I don't know?
No, there's never been any indication at all, Phil.
No warning whatever?
No. Business was fantastic. The Bailey organization has expressed not only to Jane and myself, but to, I understand, to yourself and other people that they're very satisfied with Jane.
Now, your impresario alleges many breaches of contract. Can you think of any points on which you could have sold the contract short?
None whatsoever. None whatsoever. I have not only lived up to my contract, but I have done quite a few things that were in excess of my contract. I mean, that just to please as many people as I can, and I will continue to do so. And I'm ready tonight to go on. I am told that Mr. Arden, of the impresario, of whom I'm speaking, did call the club Tito's and Marimba and say I wouldn't be appearing tonight. And they, in turn, got quite flustered and brought in another artist from London. And I'm here. I'm ready to go on. I'm always. I made a statement earlier that I would never leave a manager of a club or an owner of a club in a position if I went on for nothing, you know?
Mr. Brodie, can you say briefly what the terms of the contract were?
Well, there was to be a substantial amount of money placed as security, and this substantial amount of money was not placed as security by the promoter, Mr. Arden, and his company. There was also to be a substantial amount of money that was to be paid weekly. This was also not done. In other words, Mr. Arden and his company had failed to meet their obligation, their contractual obligation, as to payment of monies to Miss Mansfield, both weekly and also as security for the performance by the operator.
There has been nothing paid, in fact.
That's
not
correct.
Anything at all.
There isn't anything that has been paid.
And yet the break in the contract has come from the other end.
No, that's, well, if you want to call it that.
I just feel that I don't know what his reasons are. That I really don't.
Well, can I just tell you this, Phil? And this makes sense. We discussed it. We were told after we found out that they hadn't paid any money, and after we found out that they hadn't paid any placed the proper security money on deposit in the United States. When I talked to Mr. Arden, I was promised this money by 12 noon. When it wasn't forthcoming,
It was last night.
That's last night when I talked to Mr. Pat Meehan. He indicated to me on several conversations, and as late as 1 o'clock, he said, Sam, you will have the money. That is not only the weekly salary, but also the security will be forthcoming not later than 5 o'clock. And then it seemed a little strange to me. About a half hour to 45 minutes later, we received a telegram stating that the tour is canceled. Miss Mansfield has been guilty of certain things, which without specifying. And we're quite curious because we don't think we know there isn't anything that.
It has been checked. We have checked with the Bailey organization, and they've told us they're quite happy. They couldn't be happier. There's been no breach of contract, and they're completely happy and very upset about this whole situation, as I am. I'm still here. I received a phone call from a journalist today saying I'd walked out. I haven't walked out.